Hello, I'm Dr. Prajna Mattihalli, who is working in Government First Grade College, Dharwad, Karnataka. Dear students, I have already uploaded many videos on different topics of commercial arithmetic. Today, I'm interested in talking about rates and tax. I welcome you all to my video, dear students. Let us enjoy the process of learning. Here, I would like to give some introductory aspects about the taxes. Revenue, it is necessary for the public expenditure of the government and local bodies is derived mainly by way of taxes. See, they just think about the government expenditure. It has to spend a huge amount for public utilities, like it has to construct the roads and it has to provide drinking water, it has to take care of drainages. In the same way, it has to construct many dams and bridges, etc. So, how to generate money? Here, taxes are the main source of income for any government. And let us understand something more, that is types of taxes. The taxes can be broadly classified into three categories according to the authority who collects them. Federal tax means it is the tax which is levied, collected, and approved by the central government. State governments, they also levy taxes, they also collect and approve the taxes, which is called as state tax. Local tax means this is the tax which is collected and spent by local authorities, just like municipalities or village panchayats, Jilla Parishad, etc. Main source of revenue of central government is income tax and also surcharge, which is levied on the income tax. State get their revenue by way of sales tax, land revenue, excise duty on the sale of alcohols, excise duty is collected, and also entertainment tax. Local authorities collect property tax, water tax to meet their expenses. Okay, friends, let us understand what is direct tax, what is indirect tax. Taxes can be differentiated as direct and indirect. Direct tax is one, the burden of which is borne by the person on whom it is legally imposed. Example, income tax or estate duty. You can just think of the income tax wherein the person who earns the income, he himself has to pay income tax. He cannot ask anybody else to pay on behalf of him, or he cannot deviate the burden to anybody else. Indirect tax is imposed on one person but recovered by partly or wholly from another. Example, sales tax, customs duty, excise duty, etc. Think of a situation. Let us take the examples of sales tax. Suppose one laptop is manufactured by HP company which is manufacturing laptops. And immediately after manufacturing, while it is selling the HP laptop, it has to pay tax, that is sales tax. But immediately when that particular HP laptop is sold to a wholesaler, wholesaler has to pay it. And immediately, just when he sells it to the retailer, shopkeeper, that burden will be transferred to him. And finally, the person, the customer, the consumer who purchases it, he pays the tax because the tax is included in its sales price. In the same way, you can take the example of any material like toothpaste. Toothpaste will be manufactured by one company like Colgate or Close-Up, etc. And it will be sold to the wholesaler, then to the retailer, then to the shopkeeper and the local shopkeeper. And finally, it will reach the customer who brushes or who makes use of this toothpaste. He has to pay the tax. So the tax which is levied on some person and finally it will be paid by some other person is called as indirect tax. But in case of income tax or estate duty, you cannot do so. You cannot shift it. It is the person on whom it is levied. He himself has to pay. Okay, fine. Taxes, the central government, state government collect money from the public in the form of tax, like income tax or sales tax. So why do they collect? Because they want to make expenditures. They want to spend it on people. They want to spend it on public. So they have to collect it. So what do you mean by rates? Payment made by a householder or occupier of business premises to the municipality or similar bodies are known as rates. These payments are generally made 6 monthly as a matter of convenience. Duty is also one type of tax. The tax collected by the customs department or excise department is called duty. That is, municipal bodies also levy town duty. What do you mean by rateable value? It is a term which is used in calculation of rates. To determine rates, which the occupier of a house or a shop shall have to pay, the premises are assessed by a valuer who estimates their annual value or rateable value. Rateable value means it's the annual value of the house or the shops on which you are going to pay the rates. Okay. Surplus. At times, the municipality has to undertake big schemes for the public and is therefore forced to levy additional taxes for the purpose, which is called a surplus. What do you mean by rebates and reliefs? Individuals, firms, and companies are entitled to certain rebates and tax reliefs on life insurance premium, annuity, contribution to provident fund, donations for charitable purposes, etc. These are called as rebates and reliefs. Okay. Friends, I think the theoretical aspect will be more clear when we solve the problems. For example, let us solve one problem now. The rateable value of a city. I hope you know by this time what is rateable value. That is 2 crore 85 lakh 80,000 and the estimated expenditure is 8 lakh 57,400. Here we are supposed to calculate the rate. So how to calculate the rate? Rate in rupees is equal to estimated expenditure divided by rateable value. So we should know what is estimated expenditure. Here in this problem, what is expenditure? What is estimated expenditure? It is 8,57,400. Okay. Then what is rateable value? That is also given in the problem. So rate, that is estimated expenditure, should be divided by rateable value. Then you will get the rate in rupee. Here in this case, that is 8,57,400 should be divided by 2,85,80,000. Then you will get the rate. How much you got here? 0.03. That is 3 paise in a rupee. It is read like this, rate in rupee. That means we should read this answer like this. It is 3 paise in a rupee. This is the answer. Okay. And that is the way of reading it. 3 paise in a rupee. Okay, come, let us solve one more problem now. A municipality requires 68,000. What do you mean by requires? This is the estimated expenditure. For what it is required? For constructing a recreation ground. If the rateable value of the town is 54,40,000, find the rate in paise. Also find surplus, if any, when all rates are paid. This is a problem. And just go through the problem. What is given here? Here, that is estimated expenditure is given. Rateable value is given. If you divide the rateable value divided by estimated expenditure, you will get the rate. That is rate in a rupee. This much of paise in a rupee you will get. After calculating that, again, one more step is there, that to calculate the surplus. Okay, friends, let us solve it. Rate in a rupee is equal to estimated expenditure divided by rateable value. So estimated expenditure is given, that is 68,000, and rateable value is also given in the problem. We should divide it and we will get 0.0125. Always the rate should be adjusted to next paise. That is, here it is 1.25 paise. That means immediately we should go to the next paise, next digit. That is 0.02. 2 paise has to be collected, but because 1 paise can be collected, but it is more than 1 paise. So 2 paises are to be collected. So collected amount will be rateable value into rate. That is 0.02 into 54,40,000. Then we are getting the money as 1,08,800. How much is the amount required? It is 68,000. But we have collected 1,08,800. So what is the surplus? Here, surplus means collected amount minus expenditure. 1,08,800 minus 68,000. That is 40,800 is the surplus. I hope you got the point. Surplus means the collected amount minus required amount. Then you will get the surplus. So this is how the problem has to be solved. Okay. And next problem. A village panchayat decides to raise rupees 5,000. That is the required amount. That is the required expenditure. At estimated expenditure at the rate of 8 paise. So here rate in a rupee is given. What is the rateable value of the village? We have to go in a reverse manner because we are given with the estimated expenditure and rate. So with the help of this, we have to calculate the rateable value. If, however, it is known that 1/10 of the taxes, that is 10%, or the 1/10 of the taxes cannot be collected, find the rate to be levied to get the required sum. Okay, fine. Let us solve the problem. What is rateable value? Expenditure divided by rate in the rupee. So here 5,000 is the expenditure divided by rate in the rupee. That is 8 paisa, 0.08. So we are getting 62,500. That is the rateable value. Okay, now we have known that 1/10 of the taxes cannot be collected. That means how much is collected? That is 9/10. Because 1/10 cannot be collected. 1 minus 1/10. That is 9/10 can be collected. So if 9/10 can be collected, then how much will be collected? 62,500. That is rateable value. Out of that, 9/10 can be collected. That is 56,250 can be collected. So rate in a rupee means expenditure divided by rateable value. Here now rateable value is changed, isn't it? Therefore, and once again we have to collect. We have to calculate it. That is expenditure which is given 5,000. Rateable value now just we have calculated, that is 56,250 should be divided. That is rate in a rupee is equal to 5,000 divided by 56,250. That is 0.0888. That means 0.09. 9 paise in a rupee. We have to calculate. A district council rates rupees 48,000, raises 48,000 collected amount at the rate of 0.03 paise in the rupee. So rate is also given, amount collected is also given. What is the rateable value? Rateable value is equal to expenditure divided by rate in the rupee. That is 48,000 divided by 0.03. So rateable value is here, that is 16 lakh. Okay, I hope you have understood how the problem is being calculated. Find the rateable value of a town if rupees 82,000 are obtained from a rate of 0.04 paise in the rupee. If 1/10 of the taxes cannot be collected, what additional increase in the rate should be made? Just now we have solved this kind of problem. So I hope you can understand the solution part. As you know very well by this time, that is rateable value is equal to expenditure divided by rate in the rupee. Here the expenditure is given, that is 82,000. Rate in the rupee is also given, that is 4 paise in a rupee, that is 0.04. So if you divide both, you will get the rateable value, which is nothing but the 20,50,000. If 1/10 of taxes cannot be collected, effective rateable value is nothing but 1 minus 1/10, that is 9/10. So 9/10 into 20,50,000, that is rateable value. Then we will get how much can be collected, that is 18,45,000 can be collected. Now once again we have to collect, we have to calculate the rate in the rupee, that is expenditure divided by rateable value. That is expenditure is fixed, that is 82,000, and rateable value, what is good rateable value, effective rateable value, just now we have calculated, that is 18,45,000. If you divide that, you will get the 0.0444. That is nothing but the next digit we have to take, that is 5 paise in a rupee. And let us go for one more problem. A Jilla Parishad raises rupees 80,000 for building a mental hospital from public borrowing at 3% simple interest. So required amount is 80,000, but it is a borrowed fund. So along with the principal amount, the interest has to be paid. Interest is calculated at 3% simple interest on 80,000 rupees. So we need not only the principal, but also the interest. Togetherly, we have to take. If the rateable value of the area is rupees 5,20,000, find the rate to be levied so that the loan with interest may be repaid at the end of 10 years. So now we know the principal amount, that is 80,000. We have to calculate the 3% interest for 10 years so that the lump sum amount can be understood. Okay. So let us go for the calculation. That is public debt, how much? 80,000. Interest at 3% for 10 years. So 80,000 into 10 into 0.03, that is 3%. So we have to incur a 24,000 interest. Principal amount 80,000. Interest amount 24,000. So totally how much? 80,000 plus 24,000. That is 1,04,000 is required. Okay, we have understood how much is required. Then that is 10 lakh 4,000, 1 lakh 4,000 is required for 10 years. We are collecting it and every year. So we can collect for all the 10 years. So this should be divided by 10 so that we can understand annually how much is required. So 1 lakh 4,000 divided by 10 is nothing but 10,400. So every year 10,400 we have to collect so that it will become 1 lakh 4,000 at the end of the 10 year. Rate in the rupee is equal to estimated expenditure divided by rateable value. That is 10,400 divided by 5,20,000. It is nothing but 0.02. That is 2 paise in a rupee. I hope you have understood how we have calculated it. A rate of 0.05, okay, that is 5 paise in a rupee, is charged in a town of which rateable value is 6,58,000. Here, rate is also given, rateable value is also given. Find the amount that can be raised. How much does a man pay as rates if his house is assessed at rupees 650? Here we are interested in calculating the amount, that is rate in the rupee into rateable value. Rate in the rupee is 0.05. Rateable value is 6,58,000. If you multiply these two, you will get the amount what is collected, that is 32,900. Here we amount raised is 32,900. Here we are interested in knowing what a man pays as tax, because his house value is 650. He has to pay 5 paise in a rupee, that is 0.05. So 650 into 0.05 is nothing but 32 rupees 50 paise. A man pays rates rupees 32 and 50 paisa. So my dear students, I have solved many problems in this video. And if you are interested, you can solve these problems on your own. And it covers the complete portion of the rates. And in my next video, I'm interested in solving the problems on income tax. Rates and tax is the portion. And here I have covered the portion of rates. In my next video, I will I will solve the problems on taxes also, which will be helpful for you guys. And don't forget to give me the feedback for my videos. And hereby, I would like to conclude this video. And just as a reminder, I would like to draw your attention about a fact that time and tide waits for none. Let us don't waste our time, which is very precious, which cannot be borrowed, which cannot be purchased, and which cannot be gifted also, So time is very precious. Let us utilize it in understanding the things, in gathering the information, in knowing new things, and understanding very important knowledge so that it will be fruitfully invested. Take care, and let us meet once again in my next video.